Latest on Hurricane Dorian, now 45 miles north of Freeport, Grand Bahama Island, winds 110 miles per hour. So at least we've seen some drop in the wind speed. Moving northwest, actually picked up a mile per hour, now moving northwest at about 2 miles per hour. It had been stationary for over 24 hours. The very latest, once again, winds 110 miles an hour, getting some gusts up to about 130 miles per hour, starting that move to the northwest. You can see pretty close, within about 80 to 90 miles of the coast of Florida. Well, it takes that turn off to the north. Now, this is Wednesday morning. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., wind still about 110 miles an hour just to the east of Daytona Beach, Florida. Still taking that turn more off to the north-northeast, and we get to Wednesday evening. This would be anywhere from about 8 till 10 o'clock right off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina. Then more of a turn up towards the coastal part of North Carolina. So you got Wednesday, 8 p.m. Position is just to the southeast of Brunswick, Georgia. This is Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Wind still at 110 miles per hour, pretty close to the coast of South Carolina, just off the coast of Charleston. But notice that cone of uncertainty still takes it out into the Atlantic Ocean. Then we see as a Category 2 hurricane, not too far from Wilmington, North Carolina. As we get to Friday, this is now Friday morning, 8 a.m., winds at 100 miles per hour, pretty close to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. In fact, it may even possibly make a landfall pretty close to Cape Hatteras. Once again, that is Friday morning, 8 a.m., still a Category 2 hurricane with winds at 200 miles per hour at that time. Still a large, getting larger in size and as well as dropping in strength, but larger in size, which means those hurricane force winds extend out farther. The tropical storm force winds as well extend out pretty far. As we take a look, not much of a concentric eye at the moment, but certainly a still very powerful hurricane. We have these hurricane warnings and watches extended. Hurricane warning now in effect for Charleston, South Carolina, all the way down to Beaufort, South Carolina. You get up to Garden City and the Myrtle Beach area. That's a hurricane watch that extends all the way up towards the south-facing beaches around Oak Island, up towards Carolina and Riceville Beach, around Wilmington, all the way up towards the Outer Banks. That hurricane watch in effect right now. As far as the tracks, the computer models, looking at these, some of these actually have that turn towards the coastal sections of North Carolina, and that would include areas anywhere from around Morehead City all the way to the Outer Banks, a couple miles inland, and then still others taking it a little bit farther out into the Atlantic Ocean. As far as potential for 40-mile-per-hour winds, we take a look and show you in our area, not much of a chance of all. Most of that would be confined to the Carolina coastal communities. Hurricane force winds extending out the Atlantic Ocean. So as far as a chance of winds, hurricane force winds, 75 miles per hour or more, there's about a 17% chance at Charleston. Once you get up to the Myrtle Beach area, as it tracks along the coastal communities, there's about a 33% chance of tropical storm force winds extending into hurricane force winds. So that would be winds 75 miles per hour or more. Cape Hatteras up to about a 35% chance of hurricane force winds as we take it right through the end of the upcoming weekend. Something to think about, the potential for severe weather, for any kind of hurricane type situations in our area. You can see here's Charlotte, and it would be east of here, over towards areas around Union County, North Carolina, over towards areas around Richmond County, Anson County. That's on the low end category. Those folks can see winds gusting 20, maybe 35 miles per hour, rain up to maybe 2 inches. And that's areas from Monroe, Rockingham, Wadesboro, over towards areas around Scotland County, Laurinburg, all the way down to Chesterfield County in South Carolina. Just east of there, including up around Florence in that area, all the way up to just east of Raleigh into the coastal plain. That's the medium potential for winds 25 to 45 miles per hour, 2 to 6 inches of rain. And there could be a few power outages. The main threat, obviously, is along the Carolina coastline, anywhere from Hilton Head, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Morehead City, all the way to Cape Hatteras. That would be winds 50 to 75 miles per hour. That would be tropical storm force winds up to even hurricane force winds. Rain chances, pretty heavy rain chances, 6 to 10 inches of rain. And the issue would be storm surge of 4 to 7 feet. You take a low-lying area like Charleston, that would cover some of those beaches. Folly Beach, for example. Some of the hotels would be covered in water. Same with Myrtle Beach all the way up to Riceville, Carolina Beach, Morehead City, and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That would be the big threat. As we take a look at Hurricane Dorian all the way into Friday morning at 11 a.m. And notice right here, this area of yellow, that would be pretty close to tropical storm force winds. That includes areas from Wilmington all the way to Morehead City, and then Nags Head, the Outer Banks included in the wind potential over 58 to 74 miles per hour. So that would be a situation. You have the storm surge, you have the amount of rainfall that they get, and in addition to that, the heavy wind activity as well. Chances of 40-mile-per-hour winds once again. These are the tropical storm force winds. At Hilton Head, 82% chance, likely in Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, and at Cape Hatteras, that they could get tropical storm force winds, and those would be those winds well over 40 miles per hour, all the way up to about 73-mile-per-hour winds as well. In our area, once again, minimal chances we could get anything like that. As far as our rainfall forecast, heavy rain, the potential for anywhere from about 7 to 10 inches of rainfall in some areas, as you get, especially as you get up towards the Outer Banks, all the way down to the south-facing beaches around Wilmington and that area as well. Here's what we need to talk about as far as being ready for this as we go 1 to 3 days out. That's when we need folks to really pay attention. Higher ground, if you haven't left yet, shelter, a safe place. You could be without power for several days as we're getting so much closer to that issue. Our weather headlines for Dorian: little to no impacts in the Charlotte region, high impacts on the Carolina coastline Thursday into Friday. Potential for winds 50 to 70 miles per hour along the coastline, high surge 4 to 7 feet. Storm surge along the Carolina coastline. That's a wall of water. This just goes inland. The Outer Banks, a target for possible landfall, at least skirting the Outer Banks. Here's the way it looks as far as the hurricane. Once again, 11 a.m. advisory, the latest advisory, winds 110 miles per hour, starting to move a little bit faster, but still only about 2 miles per hour, and is really close, anywhere from about 80 to 90 miles, the center of circulation, to areas along the east coast of Florida. So once again, we'll keep you updated throughout the day and the very latest on WCNC.com and NBC Charlotte. I'm Larry Sprinkle. Have a nice day.